Good evening. I am Yatin Mota and you are watching Closing Bell with Moneycontrol. Let's talk about the markets because they have been on a roar and the start of the week has been quite strong. In fact, if you look at the Nifty, it has gained more than 100 points in trade today, closing above that 19,750 mark. As far as the Nifty benchmark indices are concerned, like Nifty Bank 200 points rally, mid cap index almost a 350 point rally coming in there. So be it the banking stocks or the mid caps or Sensex, we saw a whole host of green coming in on the markets. Advance decline ratio also almost 2:1. So 2 advances for every 1 decline, quite healthy. Sectorally, if you look at the metal, energy and IT index, they were the best performers. In fact, the only index to be in red today is the Nifty FMCG index. Barring the FMCG index, all the indices closed in the green. In fact, if you look at the metal stocks, given the fact that the Chinese government is working on a stimulus, plus the economic data there has been good, probably that's provided support in early trade for the metal counters. Let's talk about the Nifty Gainer Losers, and if you look at the Nifty, NTPC post the results had a roar, almost 4% up for that counter, top gaining stock on the Nifty. Today post the market hours, we also have the analyst meet post which there will be more clarity on the future growth plans, especially in the renewable green energy space. ONGC, Power Grid, Adani Ports were the other stocks which were gaining in trade, almost 2 to 3% gains coming in there. On the flip side, Apollo Hospitals post the results 3% down. Divis Laboratories, Hdfc Life as well as Britannia were the other top losing counters on the Nifty. Obviously, if you look at the heavyweights like Reliance Industries, Infosys, almost a percentage gain coming in there. ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank were gaining anywhere between 0.2% to 0.5%. So banks were slightly sideways, but yes, the action really was in the metal and the IT stocks. Obviously, in the metals space, we had Hindalco, Tata Steel gaining by nearly 2% each. So good movement coming in for the metal counters. Let's talk about the mid cap end of the market because a lot of activity there. BLS International, good results, stock up 14%. BEL, this defense come railway play has been doing well, almost 10% up for that one. Hindustan Copper, IRFC were the other stocks which were gaining almost 9 to 10%. In fact, Hindustan Copper was one of the top gainers in the FNO space. Piramal Enterprises ended the shop 6% lower. Obviously, the asset quality surprised negatively. However, the company announced a 1,750 crore buyback in which promoters will not participate, giving some respite to the share price at lower levels. Mankind Pharma, Rosari Biotech and Aavas Financiers were the other stocks which were losing anywhere between 3 to 4%. In fact, if you look at the PSU space, there we saw some good action coming in. In fact, stocks like BEML, Hindustan Copper, IRFC, NBCC, were making new 52-week highs. In fact, stocks like REC, NTPC, as well as ONGC, Power Grid were the other PSU stocks which were doing well. In fact, the PSU CPSE index also has been gaining quite smartly, and if you probably own those CPSE ETF units in your account, probably you made some good money in these PSU stocks. Obviously, the markets has been doing well. There were concerns about some bit of interest rate hike, slowdown in China, but probably that is behind us because the governments are really working hard to bring back growth, and probably that suits the capital markets quite well. Now, if you look at the stocks which we are focusing on today is Gail. Results disappointed, but if you look at the stock, why it is in spotlight, because UBS had a double upgrade on the stock. They have revised the target from 80 rupees to 150 rupees. So, it is basically doubling the target price to a level of 150 rupees. Obviously, UBS believes that the business from being cyclical, it is moving in a structural space. In fact, they believe that a lot of margin tailwinds are there ahead, which would support the overall earnings growth. The stock is trading at 50% discount to average price to earnings as well as price to book ratios, probably giving some support at lower levels. Obviously, today we had almost a downward blip coming in post the results for Gail, but still the stock managed to give returns of almost 1% in trade today. Open gap up, but because of weak results, we saw some sell off coming in for the stock of Gail. However, if you look at Gail, the petrochemical business posted a EBIT loss, so because of which there was some negative surprise. However, recently PNGRB, which is basically the body which controls the tariffs for gas pipelines, revised tariffs for Gail, which meant that the earnings would see some fillip moving ahead. Second half, let's see how the earnings shape up for Gail, because next one quarter probably there could be some pain for the petrochemicals business according to analysts. The next stock on my radar is NTPC, and as I mentioned earlier, this was the top gaining stock on the Nifty today, almost 4% up. CLSA has a buy rating on this one with a target of 240. Now, let's understand why CLSA is bullish. First of all, the first quarter earnings has demonstrated some bit of margin tailwind. Obviously, if you look at the earnings, they are expected to move quite sharply moving ahead, given the fact that the company is looking to add capacity in the solar business, which is the renewable space business. Also, the thermal power plant projects are planned moving ahead. In fact, CLSA believes that the regulatory equity is expected to move higher, about 22% in the next financial years, 2-3 financial years, and the company is trading at a cheap valuation of 10 times price to earning multiple. Now, a PE of 10 probably means that the stock is attractive. In fact, year to date, if you look at the BSE Power Index, it is the only index which is trading in the red. So, probably it is the time for power stocks. We have the government of India, which has been looking at a lot of reforms, especially with the state electricity boards, how really to cut down on subsidies, improve health of the state electricity boards. They have already placed large orders for smart meters. Solar pumps again is a very big opportunity in the marketplace. So, probably given the growth coming in for India, it is necessary for the power sector also to catch up, given the fact that pre-COVID and around COVID, the power capacity additions has not been that as per the demand which is projected ahead. So, we could see some good tailwinds in the sector, especially in the power additions side. NTPC also has a green subsidiary. So, any kind of monetization there could again boost the valuations for this power major in the PSU space. We will watch out for Gail, NTPC in the spotlight, but stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your business news and updates. I will see you tomorrow morning with a lot of market action. Stay tuned, and obviously you have to stay with moneycontrol.com.